letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a
Hey, Froggy.
All right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. One of the most important updates in our collective lives. Thanks for joining. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Maybe after the video, leave a comment. Share. We love the comments. Like to take a minute here every episode and just thank the subscribers and the many supporters of the Patriot Hour. We are happy to have you here, blessed to have you, and the collective output in the comments lead everyone in the right direction, and we all come to our best conclusions. I mean, don't ever take anything we say here. I normally say this at the end, if I remember, but I'm going to say it here now. Don't take what we say to be fact. Don't take what anyone says to be fact. Listen to everybody. Listen as much as you can. Read everything you can that you think is factual, at least in them realms. Listen to what you think is fact. Read what you think is fact. And until you can verify it in your own right, in your own whatever justifies for yourself, that is typically where you can't be wrong. All right, so we got a few things we wanted to get into here today. By the way, just a little intro there of Great Lakes Naval Station Boot Camp graduating group. I think last Friday. So coming out of the famous tunnelway that separates the recruit training command. You actually going under a road there. There's a road above it. So anytime any group would go through that tunnel, we all know we had to sing Anchors Aweigh. So a little glimpse of Anchors Aweigh. Shout out to all the graduating groups and all boot camps, but the naval one there every Friday, typically. All right, so let me did not pull up a desktop capture. Okay, here we are. All right, I was looking at this article here. This is by Serial Brain. Trump has just given us the server. All right, submitted 14 hours ago by Serial Brain 2. Promises made, promises kept. So far we know this fundamental information, that the Q1675 riddle is the device through which Trump communicates with us. Using it as an anchor point, he sends us the information we need in order to read his moves and understand current news. I have written several related posts listening to what we have learned. So Q1675, a reflection, a mug holder, an Air Force One, and a Happy Independence Day. Can you solve? So we click on this. This was 15 days ago. Today we are solving Q1675 picture riddle. All right, I was looking at some of this. In 1677, he asked, where must one be located in order to obtain a reflection on the back of a phone of that image? Since a reflected image inverts what is framed, I'll bring this down for me to read. I'll let you guys kind of look at that for a minute. So, where must one be located? In order to obtain a reflection on the back of a phone of that image. Since a reflected image inverts what is framed, to see from the perspective of the photographer, we must mirror the image. If we do so and notice there is part of the jacket on the chair appearing, we deduce the photographer must be sitting on the president's chair. Q is even softening the riddle, giving this reality away with a picture of Trump sitting in his chair. So if we click this, okay, so July 3rd, we had the pic related. I just took this photo I'm holding. This is an anon. So who would have thought that the Twitter phone could be so useful? Do reflections violate NatSec rules? Where must one be located in order to obtain a reflection on the back of a phone of that image? Image provided here has been distorted, stretched. To obtain this reflection and part of his chair, the picture had to be taken by someone sitting on the president's chair of the president. I wonder who that person could be. Then the attacks begin, taking as reference pictures from ABC article documentary produced by ABC on May 6, 2015. Link. Got this here. Some people started claiming Q's pictures were not authentic, that they were photoshopped and restarted their favorite chant, Q is a LARP. Well, sorry, as I have showed it several times in the past, you were wrong then and you are also wrong today. Folks, do you realize what is going on here? Q now realizes his base is so strong in numbers, knowledge, and trust that he can afford to troll his opposition with challenging riddles that make people attack him after a primary analysis. The yogurt theory. Link. Before Channing, you have you read that Q said in 1678? Q 1678. Trolling is fun. Hussein/Trump interior. Identical minus small changes. World. News and rear literally placed same prior to each departure. Placing that mug holder near the lamp was the hook. Enjoy. Q. Q is saying presidential protocol requires that the location of each given item is exactly the same prior to each departure, minus small changes. Which makes sense, right? For security reasons. We cannot imagine a random item entering the president's office. The list of items need to be written in stone. Then Q limits the scope of these small changes by saying world news and rear literally place same prior to each departure. We deduced from this precision that once the list of items and their respective location are validated with a new POTUS by protocol, nothing is then allowed to change. If you understand this, then you understand why he posts this picture in Q 1677. So you see here and then over here. Mug holder and picture, the hook, no mug holder in normal operation. So, by purposely placing the mug holder in the picture, Q is making a point. He is giving a hint to help us solve the riddle, and he confirms it by saying, Q 1678, placing that mug holder near the lamp was the hook, enjoy. And on his way out, Q trolls the haters, the shills, the black hats, the still hesitant, and all those who still have no clue where we all are. Trolling is fun. We all know that. And that is confirmed in 1678. Trolling is fun, priceless. Okay, so I'm going to leave these links, of course. You guys can go through it a little more thoroughly. But part 2 of this, Trump has just validated Q at Great Falls rally and gave us the solution to Q 1675. Let that sink in. "13 days ago, Serial Brain again." This is all Serial Brain. Q 1675 controversial post. I gave you in my previous post a solution to the riddle. I've seen many attempts, which I respect because I found some ideas to be very interesting and clever, but I must defend the truth. I have not seen any other solution addressing all the following issues at the same time in one condensed, meaningful, and backed with known open source facts, not conjectures. Explanation. Why Air Force One? Why Reflection? Why Apple? Why Saudi Arabia? Q1681. Why the truth is behind you? Why Independence Day? Why a mug holder? The solution I presented addressed all these issues at once, and today, for the purpose of sharing how the reason is hierarchized, I will address the Twitter phone component. It is a piece of the puzzle elegantly joining the others because Prince Al-Walid is a major Twitter shareholder. Do you see it? Just the information Twitter plus Apple could have been triangulated and led to Prince Al-Walid and resolved Saudi Arabia in Q1681. But it would have been a weaker link than getting him the mug. Through the mug. Why? Because the probability of one being a shareholder in Apple and Twitter, including just $1, is higher than a triple random emphasis on mug. Q, Prince Al-Walid and Al Jazeera, using the couple Twitter phone Apple logo was a hint to activate our intuition, but not to use it for reasoning because the mug clue would have been lost in its relevance. Look how Q subtly dismisses the Twitter phone in the reasoning. 1677 Q. Who would have thought the Twitter phone could be so useful? This is pure delegation for the mind. Delicatation for the mind. The mug route was therefore the route Q preferred. Otherwise, he would have limited the riddle to the triangulation of Apple and Twitter. This guy puts Twitter. To get to the prince. Why he did not, the reason the mug brings the idea of detention, makes the riddle self-sufficient, and does not require us to conjecture that Q wanted us to include it in our reasoning. This detention component is crucial because it was removed. We don't get to the DC politicians being freed, and therefore don't get to 1681. Today, as patriots, we celebrate our independence. I would like to also give some help to those who struggle with me taking the musical note direction to understand 123.47. I said it in the comment section, but I will also share it here. Using musical frequencies for ciphered messages is actually an old, robust, tested, and common practice. It is still used today in the subject of the current advanced academic and industrial research. Here are some links for those who would like to go further. All right, the links are there. Q1226, Learn Comms. I am walking you through all these details so you know the thought process Q is expecting from us at this point and how discipline and to constrain myself when solving these riddles. These are tools through which you, people, the quality of the solution. You first need to verify all the claims are backed in verifiable information. Then you need to verify all the clues are used in a flawless manner to render the hidden messages. I have summarized the solution of the riddle in the following pictures. Read it clockwise. So AAPL 123, 1234 equals B2, B2 equals military, down to AF1, military aircraft, Trump. The bad actors who are using their wealth to pervert our political infrastructure and made America subservient to foreign interest have been neutralized. We have regained our true independence. The mug over here. Q16A1, Saudi Arabia prior to SA events. Think mirror, truth is behind you. We celebrate our independence. Prince takes a bite of the apple. No, well, this is interesting. Interesting breakdown. So that's what kind of... Then note, the next day, Trump doubled down with an Elton John CD he asked Pompeo to give to Kim Jong-un. For he was bringing North Korea to the musical note equation. Just like I linked the North Korean ICBM test that occurred that day of the B2 glitch. So 1283, eyes open, comms good. Now you know I have the icing for the cake. Do you want it? Here, why do you think Trump said organ instead of piano? When you look at a picture of in my post, Even though they are both keyboards and are similar, the first instrument that naturally comes to mind when you see a keyboard would be a piano, not an organ. Well, here's the reason. According to the Guardian article, the most iconic, greatest of all organs is the Hammond. And guess what? They have a model called the B2. So, interesting articles here, folks, that are breaking down. Here's a B2, more Trump's hidden message to stroke Kate in the soda. And then part 6, Trump's brilliant chess combination. They blame the people for what they themselves do. Remember that. That's projection. We've said that. The projection is always, what these people are blaming Trump one thing after another. It's because that's what they're guilty of. They have done the same things or worse, and they're just projecting that it was Trump that did it. No, the crimes are real. The people who did them are hiding. They're projecting it onto somebody else. So Riddle, 1675, do reflections violate NatSec rules? Do reflections violate NatSec rules? Question, where must one be located in order to obtain a reflection on the back of a phone of that image? Image provided here has been distorted, stretched. Think mirror. Look there or here or there. Truth is behind you. They accused Trump of being in collusion with Russia. We now know they were the ones in collusion with Russia. More flexibility video, and basically Uranium 1. Now, an interesting application of the rule 0 would be to list all their accusations and use them as a starting point to analyze them. For example, they insisted Putin had some dirt on Trump. So, rule 0, Putin has some dirt on them. Pretty cool, right? Now you can take this working hypothesis and check if right on down the line. It's not in contradiction with events. If it's not, it's likely to be true. And then if you remove the hypothesis and cannot explain events rationally, no matter how hard you and other smart people try, then you know the hypothesis is true as not being able to find a rational explanation to the events it induces. So when you get here, what you do is take the hypothesis as a working hypothesis, call it as a strong hypothesis, and you go further in your analysis to gather some other data and would reinforce the likelihood of a strong hypothesis being about 100% true. So just think of that, folks, every time you hear them blaming Trump for something that they themselves, does that already relate to something previous that had happened? They're just covering for what's about to come. This is a strong, vast system that's been around for a long, long time. So we know that they typically deny. They won't report on something until it gets a little bit too big, starts trickling in, and then they'll jump on it to try to control the narrative. So let's finish up here. We're hitting the 20-minute mark. I had a conversation with Anons who rightly made me notice this new way of communicating with us was actually announced by Q in this June 2018 post, Q1581. We serve at the pleasure of the president. We left the decision on timing to him. Today at the rally, he made this decision, shift in tactics. So I now realize this. Shift in tactics means POTUS has decided to get us to the next level of our comms, direct communication. Did you see my post about Q1304 Emmy Awards link? Did you see Q's translation of Comey's tweet in Q645? This one takes us back to January 29. JC tweet translation. This is James Comey. Special Agent Andrew McCabe stood tall over the last 8 months. And then this is added in. Do not talk. When small people, the sheep in brackets, were trying to tear down an institution we all depend on, cover in the brackets, he served with distinction for 2 decades. We own you and your family. I wish Andy well, 187. I also wish continued strength for the rest of the FBI. General threat to others. America needs you. Activate the sleeper cells. Okay, so this is how we also need to be communicating. This will allow us to intercept their comms and efficiently oppose them on the battlefield. Why? Because we don't have anything else to hide. We don't have anything to hide. They do. In the long run, they will have to stop communicating, and it'll be checkmate. So what's in the news? Let's start with a piece of information that is easiest to code. You will start training your ear progressively. Watch this video. Okay? So again, folks, I just wanted to link you over to this. There's a video here. I'm going to leave this link in the description box. I just copied and pasted. This would bring you right here to 15 hours ago, Serial Brain 2, Q1675. Trump has just given us the server. All of this is going to lead to what we were told after the summit with Putin, the Uranium 1, Hillary Clinton, leading to the shooting of the ranch or the people up there. Was it the Bundy Ranch? 2014, they killed these people, took their land. Uranium supposedly is found on that ground. It's a high level of it. They want it. They want it all. This leads to much bigger things. Why did Stroke testify to the public in a public hearing? Because it was he was being used by Trump, possibly to just take your public scrutiny. You deserve it. It's shaming. That's one aspect. He couldn't answer anything. This guy also, there's links to videos, but he goes into talking about, he was there to put a message. That's why Peter Strzok had a Coke bottle that said Kate. If you get into all the deepness of it, Kate Brown was the mayor of this area where, it's just really deep. And they're just putting messages out. At this point, nobody can really talk safely. So it's all about when certain people are having interviews, their fingers, what they're putting in front of them. These are messages to other people that are working with them to let them know, because they don't have much other options at this point. Everything's being, we got it all. They got it all. We got it all. So again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. Check the description box for the link for the Serial Brain. And please comment, like, share the video. We really appreciate all the comments and all the support. I'm Mike. This was the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed, and have a great morning into your afternoon. And we'll see you back here later today for the next update video. Have a great afternoon.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q.